Hi, fellow traders, what's happening? Hope you guys had a great hump day. And the question on everybody's mind is, have we reached the top? Now, I've been waiting for 5 days. We finally got it yesterday, where this bounce that started months ago finally made it back, and we made new highs. We pulled back yesterday, and then today we end up with a big sell-off day. We made a new high again today, but then we ended up selling off and not bouncing, and ended up closing below the 5. That's a big sign of weakness. And so, though, the question is, are we going to get that big pullback now? Have we reached the top and we're going to get this big pullback? Now, and it was odd today because the Fed notes came out, the Fed meeting minutes came out, and we already knew what happened. So I wouldn't have expected that to affect the market, but sure enough, it started just selling, and of course, I happened to be in the trade at the time, and it took it the wrong way, so I bailed out on it. But it just seems like I have impeccable market timing sometimes. But I still think we can get potentially a pullback to 330. I would think would be the weakest. I mean, the bulls were set up. They were set up to run this thing up through 340, 350 but it's like they bailed out. But if you look at these previous 4 candles, not a whole lot of volatility in these candles. They practically close where they open. And this was the first day we got some really solid moves. So you can see what happened yesterday. After we hit the high, I thought we were coming in. And I was like, yep, this is what, I said, as soon as we hit this, we're going to get that pullback. And then it rips back up and makes another new high. I'm like, we're really? And then after market, we pull it's like we keep going. And, I looked at this late last night, and I'm like, wait, is this thing going to continue? Or, did the clock strike 12 on Cinderella? And then we get this today. We run up, we make new highs, we pull back. I'm thinking we're about to make new highs again. We don't quite make a new high, and then the bottom falls out. And this is right around 2 o'clock when the minutes are released. And a lot of times we get this big over emotional trade, and then it comes back and it starts going back to where it was. It just never came back. We had this volatile movement here, and then a little bounce, but then wham, right back down. And I think we got down to 334. But it since bounced a little bit. But this was amazing. So, is this the top? And are we going to get this deep pullback? Right now it's looking good. Is it one of the biggest bear traps I've ever seen? It's crazy. But we capped off, today we capped off, or yesterday, we capped off the fastest recovery from a bear market in history. We went to the bear market, I think the fastest, or one of the fastest, but the recovery from the bear market has been the fastest in recorded history. And we know the reason. It's because the government, the federal government, the Fed, the central bank kept this up, and they're still keeping it up. But with all the money going out the market, no money flowing to a lot of Americans who are out of jobs, then their jobs will never come back. Our unemployment is still really high. Now, yeah, the new unemployment claims are down. They're below 1 million for the first time, but you still got over 15 million people unemployed, and probably 90% of those jobs are not coming back. So with the benefits gone, and there's no law protecting tenants and people from getting foreclosed on or being evicted because they haven't paid rent, that's very real. The president's so-called executive order has no teeth. It just says you just ordered these agencies to take a look at this. There's no guarantee of anything. So it's going to be interesting to see where we go from here. So let's take a look at what we did today. This morning we had opening range breakdown attempt here, and I got in. We started to move down. It was looking pretty good, and then all of a sudden, bam, we opened here. We push all the way back up, open up here, and at this point I'm trying to put my stop in. I put in a sell stop versus a buy stop, so it immediately shorted me another 300 shares. So I'm in double my position here, but then it starts to work again, and but once it started doing this, and the price action was really choppy. The volume was practically gone. Look at what happened to the volume. So I just bailed on it. It was a little green, a couple of bucks, but I wasn't going to sit there and let this thing stop me out. If the technicals break down and the price action starts to tell you this is not the smartest trade to be in, you got to bail on it. And that's what we did here. And, everybody that was in chat, I tried to explain this as it was happening, what I was looking at. And, so you guys we're seeing the market through my eyes. So hopefully you guys understood that and got, the reasoning behind all of this. But before I bailed out, I had this on autopilot, and I was looking at TGT. TGT, it just took a little bit longer to set up, but that's just fine with me. Here we have the 5-minute opening range high, but we have the pre-market high here. I'm not going to buy into pre-market high because oftentimes this is resistance. And you can see I bought above it, and it ended up coming back, closing below this again. So fortunately, this candle bounced, gave us a strong move. Hit my first target here. Hit 2/3 off. Second target, I took half for the remaining position, and I left the last 50 shares on, looking for 155. We came close, but it just couldn't get through that 154.50. And it's especially when this candle pushed and we couldn't get it, I probably should have taken it off, right in here. But it was so close to the 20, I gave it a chance, and it looked like we were going to get it for a minute, but it just could not push back over the 9, so it was best for me to get out. And it really didn't do a whole lot. Eventually it ran a little bit, but it didn't really do a whole lot. Now, this was a textbook opening range breakout, but here we had the wrinkle, and this is nothing bad. This is just one of the things that we have to look out for. Now, if we don't look out for these, and sometimes we can short into it, and it causes us to get messed up. But this did hit 155, but it was aftermarket. It kind of stayed in this channel all day. Is what it did. BA, this one I took a couple trades on. The last one was the best. So, God damn it. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. This is the chart that I took early when I thought I was done for the day. Well, I'm sorry. I don't have the last trade was the best trade. I shorted that into the close. The market was selling off, and I waited until we got a good solid entry, but I can't show it. But here is the trade I was in when the news came out, and it just kind of stopped it in its tracks. We were making a move back up here, but this is when I talk about not taking trades in a channel. This is what I'm talking about. We're in a channel here, and I bought inside of it because I felt we had enough room to push up, and we did. But again, the stuff, the news came out, or the Fed minutes dropped, the market sold off hard, and so I had to bail on this. So it wasn't bad. I think I calculated this maybe 120 bucks or so, 150. I can't remember, but I didn't let it take me to my negative, and it worked out pretty good. So there was one other trade. Did I cover that trade? Yeah, I covered it. I covered YNDX. I covered TGT and BA. This is the one that I don't have everything on. I just forgot to retake the chart. I forgot. But we ended up with 405.96. Not a bad day. It's kind of about what we've been doing. We probably will average about $500 a day this week. And trading smaller size and, not really getting big time follow through. We do get some really good moves here and there, but just taking what the market is giving us, not getting out of our comfort zone, not pushing the envelope, because this isn't the market to do it. There are times for us to be aggressive, and then there are times where we need to just chill out, and today was a chill out day. So as far as the swings, CHWY, I had a safety net on CHWY. I was not going to let it give back any of the little bit of profit I had. I held this thing for several days, and only getting $1,000 out of it was really disappointing. I was expecting about $2,500 out of this trade. But as you could see, I had a safety valve stopping it in case this thing washed out. Like I said, I'm one of those that are waiting for the market to tank. That I felt it was going to hit the high and have a good pullback. So, with these swings I had, I wasn't going to take a whole lot of chance on it. So this one, it did hit that stop, and locked in 1021.92. But that's fine. I'll take it. The market is just not in a position where it's supporting a lot of technical long trades. Now I'm still in. I'm still in the what's the other chart? I can't even remember the other one that I'm in. I'm crazy. But I'm still in it's gotta come to me. It's gotta come to me. It's gotta come to me. DE. I'm still in DE looking for it. It reports earnings Friday morning. I was looking for it to hit 200 prior to earnings. It started out good today, but here again, it's just not gonna make it. And then AMAT, that one never hit the stop today. It's at a break-even stop. Remember, we've taken profit on that already. So the last 100 shares of it is the stop's going to be at break-even again tomorrow. I fully expect that to fail. DE, I'm just disappointed in. But other than that, that's going to wrap it up. You guys have a great night, and I will catch you in the morning.